In a slowly decaying city, social class is determined by the amount of time you spend in the virtual world called the interface. Hi, my name is Emmanuel, and this is my weekly show in which I share the progress of my comic tales from the interface. Uh, so this week we're gonna be working on some flats, so my ink is done, my sketch is done. So I'm just basically laying out the basic colors of every page. Comments are open. You can leave a comment in the chat. I'll answer them as I see them. If you're watching this after the fact, I will also answer as best I can. Quick note that this is the last live of 2020. Thank God this year is over. I know a lot of people suffered deeply here, so I think that we're all happy to see that we're going to a new year, and hopefully things will get a lot better. Likes, share, and all that stuff is super appreciated. I am an independent author. I don't have anybody backing me up besides you guys, so I appreciate the sharing the culture around, and not just me. I mean, I know some of you, you're doing an amazing job, and sharing the work of all us artists who are outside of the big media circus. So I do appreciate every time I see somebody taking time to do this. You know who you are, and I thank you a lot. Besides this, let's just get started. So, hope the sound is okay. My meter looks good. Yes. Okay. So, just need to transition to this funny dude. Boop. All right. So we're live on my screen with my little Bernie there. I thought it was pretty funny, and I hesitated to give him like human kind of tone skin, but I thought, why not? I'm not trying to be perfectly perfect in this comic. I think that humor has its place, and people who will recognize this character hopefully will appreciate that. I was not a huge Sesame Street fan growing up because it wasn't really available in French. So, I knew the character from all the media, and they you'd see the toys around. They were super big, so I knew about them, but I didn't have access to the show. So, but of course, I am a big Jim Henson fan. He made some of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. Like he also knew how to surround himself with talented people, like Brian Fraud. How do you pronounce Fraud? Fraud? Brian Fraud. Frank Oz. All great people who contributed a lot to his movies. So let me talk a bit about the blocking or flatting stage. So in that stage, what you're really trying to do is lay out the basic colors in a way that they can be easily selectable to apply gradients or shadows. So in this step, I just put flat colors like this, and I can show you like the previous page. You'll notice that there's no gradient because I just finished that page. There's no gradient. All the colors are flat. So this allows for easier selection in the next pass where I will put shadows and gradients. So for instance, if I wanted to select the face here, I would just go to my select color gamut, and then I can select the yellow, and there you go, I can just color that. Alternatively, and on top of that, I also, oh, I just noticed a mistake. I'm gonna fix that after, but just to finish what I was saying, I also try to keep the colors in separate layers so that I can use this clip layer on top, and then what this will do is that it will only paint on the same space as the layer underneath. So this is very useful as well when you're doing shadows and gradients. Even when, and I'm gonna talk more when I'm at this stage, but even when I do gradient, I try to keep the flats underneath, because it's very hard to select a gradient. So I would suggest keeping your flats for the process. It just makes things a little easier. Although, you know, as I've said multiple times, Clip Paint does a fantastic job of filling. It's very good at filling. So in that sense, yeah. I should do a better job of naming my layer. This wouldn't have happened. So what I did is I just like painted colors on my ink layer. So now I have to go in and kind of reselect the ink and separate it so I don't get it into future trouble. So I'll just, oops, just select that ink, and then you wrong tool, wrong lasso tool. There's I had the lasso fill. I just need to select the selection lasso. So I just want to take that line here, although it probably doesn't matter too much, but there you go. So I just X that and paste it so it sits on its own layer, which, you know, what I do is I try to keep it logical. So you see this guy is obviously on top of it, so I would move him on top and keep that background on its own layer, and I can probably paint the color of this underneath it. So now I'm gonna do the good shitty thing I should have done and just type ink on it, so I know I shouldn't color there. Okay, so this guy now, he's also ink, and you see I kept it in 2 layers, but really I don't think this is necessary. I'm gonna merge these two. Oops. Okay. I typed thing on the wrong layer. That's smart. All right. Okay. Let's try that again. Ink, and that is a flat. All right. More ink. I don't do that because it's tedious having to write all that. My flat, I still want it on top of this one. Next also. Next also. Because it's really one of the most front scenes. This one is still behind it, so just raise it up. I kind of made them together, which is fine. So here, those two have their own flat. I'm gonna put them in a folder. Just makes things a little bit neater. It is a complex panel, so yeah, that's really the most front. Yeah, makes sense. I also created some speed lines, which I will treat separately. Actually, I had merged them by mistake, and I had to redo them yesterday. Yep. All right, so let's continue flattening now that it's clean. So my flat is underneath. And if you excuse me for a moment, I need to check something. Sorry about that. Okay, continuing. So Bernie, I don't even remember the other guy's name. Let me see. Bernie, Sesame Street. All right. So I kind of want that as a reference, just to have the basic colors going. Okay. Yeah, this can be here. All right. Okay, so Bernie, so he has a white collar, and then he kind of an orange nose, which I didn't do. So let me get that. Kind of need my colors, and I can do that. Just have it as a reference there. To select his nose, I'm gonna use the lasso fill, and then select an orange. It's actually kind of the same color as the face of the other guy. And the other guy, he has a red nose. They're just slightly more human than the Muppet. Muppet with teeth. Oh, some had teeth, right? Like Dr. Teeth. That's his name, right? The musician. That's something all those little can never get right. Little tips. Okay. Oh, those stripes. Yes. Okay, so so green, blue, green, red, blue. Okay, his color is blue and green. Let's start with that. Blue. So I don't want to have a blue that's, again, this is flats. So the color should look a bit deader. And then what you want to do is with your the next pass, you can highlight some of the colors through gradients and shadowing and highlights. So this pass, I try to keep it more neutral. It has served me well. So, okay, so green and blue, and then he has blue again, green again, green, red, blue, green, red, blue. Yeah. So green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue. Okay. So blue, red, green, 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 blue, red, green. All right. Now I can just it's a little tedious, I have to say. But I want to get that full Bernie effect, right? So the reference is unmistakable. Green. Oops. Start with red. Oops. Oh, thank you, Benoit and Damien. So Benoit, thank you again. You've been super supportive. I haven't got a chance to read your book again. I am really that busy. But yeah, I need to do that. And Damien, I don't know. I haven't heard about. I know I've made a drawing for you a long time ago. Damien is a musician, so hopefully this is going well for him as well. I know that for a musician it's been tricky because all live shows have kind of died, so not easy. Not an easy time. And somebody shared. Damien. Thank you, Damien. Much appreciated. Okay, so what's the name of the other guy? So one is Ernie, one is Bert. Okay, Bert. So which one is which? I have no idea. Okay. So I don't think I made his color correct, but I don't, I think it's fine. Come on. No. I'm just gonna pretend it's correct, okay? Don't tell anyone. So, and actually his shirt is upside down. You should have lines in the other way. And I'm not, no, I'm not that crazy to change that. Maybe if next time I look at it, I still think it's bad, then yeah, sure. Maybe I will change it. there's a point of insanity where I will not go, at least not yet. Maybe when I'm more experienced, I can be a bit more insane. I always look as Geoff Darrow as one of my biggest current influence. And oh man, does he get into the details. I really love looking at his art. And yeah, man. But the thing is, he does this full time. I am not doing this full time. So I can pardon myself a little bit. It's not as crazily detailed. But it does, you know, fill in the page so well. One thing I started doing is adding a bit of texture, more texture on the wall. Just very simple, little etch time, and it really brings a whole new dimension, a whole new finish to the thing. And adding all those little things, I mean, it really makes a piece pop. So going towards there. So if you'd like to see me do more comics, I suggest you go check out my website. Both my books are there, and you can purchase them there. They're also available on Comixology, although I don't really support too much because I really make almost nothing from that platform. You could get the PDF from my website as well. So if you just want a digital version, I suggest you get the PDF on my website. It's going to be a lot better for me than Comixology. But I do like to be on there. You know, it's a great platform, I have to say. Just that, you know, they take like 30% of a $5 sale, so it's kind of, you know, I got a check like lately, and it's ridiculous. It's, you know, if I was selling like thousands and thousands of copy, like maybe, you know, it's another avenue. But, and I'm not saying they are taking advantage of people. You know, I'm sure that the servers cost a lot of money. But still, it's just not something that's terribly worth it for me. I do it more to be for just the sake of being there, like, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, next. Just keeping an eye on those feeds, making sure everything is good. Sound looks okay, right? I tried to speak more clearly. It's not obvious, you know, as I'm sure it's quite obvious my native tongue is not English. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's simply because you know, a lot of my, you know, the people who buy my comics, I'm not sure how to call them, they are French, but, you know, about half is also English or from some other country, they speak another language. So I do want this to be accessible to them as well. So that's pretty much why I do this in English. Although I may sound weird at times. Okay, his shirt could be what color? What color should his shirt be? Of this fantastic dude. What color do you want your shirt to be, dude? That Bernie really sticks out. Could just the white, the dirty white, maybe dirty white, like almost like this, but this lighter, yeah, I kind of like that, and then the color like that. Then I want some spots on it. I'm gonna use the same color for the eyes. And the hair, I probably will do that in the next pass. Yes, in the detailing. And this dude really looks like an old friend of mine who I haven't spoken in so long, but I think I'm gonna send him a screenshot of that. Because he's been, so his name is Martin Gim, as he's known in this region, and I think he's been the most supportive artist early on as I started comics. You know, he's been very, very nice to me, so I do love that guy, and I hope he's doing well. So I think I'm gonna send this to him. Show him that he's still in my thoughts. Should have sent him a postcard. I didn't even think about it. I don't know. I think I lost his address now. Well, some of you might have gotten a postcard from me, actually. I send those out. I think, I'm not sure I'm going to send more. Though if you're listening to this and you want a postcard, just message me in private. And I still have a few stamps for US and some Canada stamps. So if you're interested in getting a postcard, reach out to me. They're pretty cool. I think so. Some people have told me they're pretty cool, so I'm gonna listen to them. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. I've been making little drawings on them and posting them on Instagram. Too pink, huh? Too pink. And so much of my social life has been on social media, and Martin is not on social media. So I guess I should really send him an email before soon and see if he's okay. I wonder, because, well, I think, you know, he's working as a painter usually, so I know in the beginning it was a little bit challenging for them because a lot of construction site closed down, but I don't think painters had such a big issue, but I might be wrong. I'm just imagining things. Hope he's okay. Yeah. His eyes are much smaller, but oh well. I'm not trying to be perfect representation either. Okay, let's see. Okay. I guess. That's the thing, when you start doing these groups of people, I mean, I have no idea what's going on. What is even this? Is that elbow, or doesn't look like an elbow. If it is, it should be like this probably, if he's having a t-shirt. I guess that makes more sense. Let's go with that. So this is a flat layer again. I'm just gonna, instead of writing flat, I'm just gonna put an F there. And this is an ink, so that makes more sense. And it takes less time, so great. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be too lazy to do this more, but anyway. Next, this nice dude. Okay, dude. What colors do you want? Let's make him brown. Ah! Okay, that's an ink layer. You know, I guess it really wouldn't need to be so separated like I do it now. I'm sure I'm doing way too much, way more than I need to do, and that's, I think, largely something you gain with experience, to know what you actually need to do and gaining confidence. I don't have much confidence, so I just back myself up and wear suspenders, a belt. And what's the other one? The third one. If you know your film reference, you'll know what I'm talking about. I believe in Fistful of Dollars. The little guy was wearing suspenders and a belt, and the guy shot him down and says, "I can never trust a man who won't trust his own pants." And I thought that was one of the best lines in the movie ever. So, okay. Oops. Yeah, be careful of that. Don't try to fill in colors in the layer you're not in. Although it might work, it will probably screw up your gradients and your shadows. Okay. So make sure if you're like me, being way too careful and having a million layers, yeah, you're gonna want to be really careful where you put your colors in. Where am I? I am lost again. Okay, no, it's deeper. Okay. Okay, this is my color. So let's paint that out. I'm gonna give him blue hair, why not? you know, if nobody else, at least I'm having fun with my little drawing. So I try to keep contrasting colors. If you noticed, yellow, purple is a complete opposite in the color spectrum, so you know it will stand out very well. Pants. Let's give him some good old American blue jeans. And I have no idea what's going on here. It must be his pants, right? His knee, probably. All right, let's do that. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna. So, what's yellow? Still yellow here is the. Yeah, that's the floor. So I'm gonna paint that gray later. I just have to make those teeth first. Teeth first? Those teeth first? As you notice, I try to put a little variety there. Show he has bad teeth. There you go. And the floor. See, I'm keeping a full color in the background always. I don't want any white. It's also a good idea. Something you can try is using a black, actually. So you don't, when I have those little annoying little specks of white in the sharp corners, having a black layer underneath will pretty much solve that. I don't do it because I think it's not as efficient for the way that I work. Because I want to lay out the big colors first, and then I don't know if you follow me. It's very hard to explain. Okay, so the floor, that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna keep this here because of the colors of this. So this is the no, that's not the page I wanted. This page. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I wanted. So, there's a lady in the background with a shirt, kind of like that. So I'm gonna give her the same shirt. Here. Okay, so now this charming dude. What color do you want to be? See? I painted the wrong layer. Damn it. Isn't that it? Yesterday was the Spasm Christmas special. Was very cool. I would suggest you go check it out. Spasm is a short movie festival from here. Well, they accept movie from all over the world, but I think usually there's one creator from here. I'm not sure what their rules are exactly for acceptance. But it's all like kind of horror themed usually. I think in all cases, or I don't know. But if you like short horror movies, for sure you will like that. So yesterday they had a Christmas special, and it was very fun. I really enjoyed that, especially that they're doing it online, so I could work on my comic while watching it. And that was very nice. The only one, which was in what language was it? It's a North European language, Danish. I don't know, but I couldn't. It was very hard to follow because there were subtitles, and reading plus drawing at the same time doesn't really work well. But it was a very interesting documentary about the Krampus. If you don't know who the Krampus is, it's kind of a weird local tradition that they have there, where you have like Saint Nicholas that brings gift to kids, like Santa Claus, right? But he's also accompanied by these kind of goatish demon things that take children away when they're not being nice. and they're dressed really scarily, and then parents actually bring their kids there to get like to meet Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, whatever. And you see the little kids getting super scared, like, because they have those huge and very scary costumes. And I know I would never bring my daughter to see that, but it is fascinating that that this is part of their culture and acceptable there. So you'd see like a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old being super scared, like crying there, and then there is this huge, like, goatish, hairy, disgusting thing in the back trying to scare her. And it's really a unusual tradition, and I don't know why parents think it's a good idea. I guess if you look at the history of even here, like, we had our share of those kind of scary characters, like if you don't go to sleep, the evil man will come and get you, and those kind of legends. So I guess we just, in the last, and that's not too long ago. I mean, a few generations ago, maybe my mother's one generation ago. So we had very similar kind of ways of scaring children. So it's really not that far off. So it's just weird that, to me, this is so strange. I would imagine that for somebody living like 60 years ago, like a parent of the previous generation wouldn't think so necessarily. And you see a lot of grim tales are actually really scary, like parents abandoning their children in the woods, and those were told to me for sure when I was a kid. So it is a bit strange, I guess, but is it so different from what we were doing like very recently? Probably not. Okay. So my almost finished this. Missing one little detail here. Here. Okay. Now the floor. I'm gonna go back to that layer. Okay, I see the hair has some little flaws in. I'm gonna fix that. So I just need to find my Bernie layer. Would be towards the front here. Okay. Just fill in those. And I noticed some of them here. It's probably not very noticeable even when printing. I am most probably nitpicking at this point. I don't think it would show on print. So, looking good. Maybe fix that one. So again, problem with big layer, a lot of layers. You look for stuff. And then this will allow me to put like filters between the layers. So for example, I can do a quick one here. So this is my stage. So I have the last group of people, and then I can like create a layer here, make it whatever color, and then just kind of layer out and use gradients and really make like the front pop out much more. So that's why that's kind of why I'm doing it. Okay, next is the background. So the wall is good. I didn't ink actually I'm missing a portrait here. Okay, so if I go back to this layer here, I actually didn't finish the ink. And it should be a simple drawing of our gentle administrator, Mr. Holloway. Kind of going without any sketch layer here. This is a background, doesn't need to be necessarily impeccable. Like that. And I think I'm going to use the same layer I used for the floor. I think I don't need to have another layer. Color the stage. big letters. Go. Oops. So again, close gap is a very useful feature where you make this, see it went through, now it doesn't. So that saves a lot of time. So you don't have to fill in all those little gaps manually. Although I would say if you can draw it without gaps when you're first doing it, you're probably gonna save time. So I would suggest you do that unless you really want that as your style, but I don't think it really necessarily creates such an outstanding style in the beginning. But I don't know, it's up to you really. I try to close my line now as much as possible to save me some time when I'm coloring. But it's up to you. Cube, 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 cube. Oops, cube, cube. I clicked on the ink layer. So what will happen? I'm going to show you. If I don't undo, I have a beautiful green line that spans across the frame here. You don't want that. Otherwise, when you're printing, your ink will look really weird. Okay. Pew, 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 pew. Ah. It's a weird thing. Flatting, I don't know how much I like it, but it's a very important process, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be happy if anybody else was doing it because I'm just that picky. And frankly, it doesn't take all that long compared to just the sketching and inking. Flatting is probably one of the least consuming part of it. So just a little easy, I would say. So it doesn't feel super interesting. It's very like little tiny details everywhere that you need to watch out for, and it is a bit annoying. Pants, shorts. Go. Okay. What is that? Oh, it's the other letter. Oops. And I just noticed I didn't put any texture, but it is far. Yeah, so I think it's fine. I didn't put any texture on the stage, but I think it's fine. Because the further away, the least details you want, and that's something I'm still working on. I don't think I nailed it quite right. And here you go, a beautiful flattened panel. Ooh, and it looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, and you know, it looks good like that. And often I say, oh, yeah, that's pretty good, I'm satisfied. But then like you start putting in those highlights and gradients and depth to it, and it just pops out and looks even better. So looking forward to that. You see I have my speed lines and then I have my bubble. I'm gonna leave it as like that. You know, it's perfectly acceptable like this. You know, I could easily publish it like that. I just want to take it one step further. So next is this guy. Okay, sorry about that. Ugh. 5 minutes to go. And then I will leave you. And so I'll still be on social media and stuff. So if you want to reach out to me, if you need to talk to someone, you know, feel free. I know it's difficult in this time of year if you're all alone. So I'm there. Might be hard to reach sometimes, but I'll get back to you. This is... Where am I? Okay. Yeah, so this panel is done. And then this one. So again, I start with a flat background. Shoop. I need that color here. Oh, you see what I did here, huh? Why is there white there? It's because I wanted to hide, because I knew I would be coloring, but I wanted to draw behind it. So I'm going to show you. See, there's a speck of white there. So where I need to find which layer I used. It's this layer here. So the whole background is on its own layer. So all the way and the table here, they're on their own layer. And then I have, this will be a flat layer. And then all those people. So I have Gauthier and Clara. I'm gonna keep them together. And like before, I'm gonna put them in a layer, in a folder like this. I always remove bubble before coloring. I don't want an empty spot of color there. It will be hard to fill later on. So this is a flat. So I have these two and this guy, but I really don't need them to be separate. So just merge them. Make sure that my merge did what I expected it to do. So this is my ink, and this is my flat color. Yes. I can hide the background, and actually this I will just delete it because I'm gonna fill in the colors now. Yeah, I could have filled in the colors actually before that. And that might have saved me some time, but I really didn't know which color. I didn't want to make the decision right now, so at that moment. Yeah, good. It's red. All right, well, you know what? It's 29, I'm pretty much finished. So with that, I will wish you a great holiday season. Let me just change cameras here. Yes, so guys, I wish you a great holiday season. I'll be around social media. I'll be, but I won't be working as much during the next months. I want to take some time with the family. But I'll be back full speed in February. So lives will continue at that time, and that's pretty much my plan for January. But as I said, I will read your comments. I will answer. I love to hear from you always. I really appreciate the time you spend in trying to spot any mistakes that I do because I hate to produce a comic with mistakes, and when somebody tells me I take it into account always. Sometimes I don't change it because I have a reason. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. So all likes, all comments, all shares really help. Don't underestimate that, because every time you do one, the stupid algorithm of those social media will just give it 1 point and then show it to more people. If you don't like it, it gets shown to less people. So if you do like it, please press that button because it helps a lot. What else is there to say? Well, as I said, well, again, happy holidays. I really hope you guys have a great time. And I guess I will see you around the interface. So happy. I wish you a great 2021, everyone. And talk to you later. Bye.